The COVID-19 pandemic is uprooting the modern-day workplace. As companies prepare for their employees to return, many are saying goodbye to the open floor plan and hello to social distancing. Fox News correspondent Marianne Rafferty tells us what a post-pandemic office might look like.
As states begin easing stay-at-home orders, many businesses are considering changes to the modern workplace. One real estate company has built a prototype for a new design called 6 Feet Office. Stickers and tape on the floor direct traffic flow. Disposable paper mats keep workspaces sanitary, and plexiglass barriers around desks add a layer of protection.
It comes down to some basic concepts, things like colored carpet. Or in a less sophisticated or expensive application, taping off what 6 feet workstations look like.
Temperature checks for people entering the office are also likely to become commonplace, as companies in South Korea have already proven.
Whether it be temperature checks or other screening processes, balancing those with maintaining privacy and leveraging the appropriate technology to do so with contact tracing, etc., they have found to be obviously very, very important.
Some businesses may ditch the workplace entirely. Experts say many employers have seen a surge in productivity with remote work and might move toward that model permanently.
A lot of companies are going to, having gone through this, are going to realize that maybe remote work is feasible in a lot of jobs and situations where maybe in the past they really didn't think it could work.
Attitudes toward the workplace are also changing. About 75% of workers say they're now better prepared to cover for colleagues who need to be out of the office. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.